points here against NOCAP.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a right way to put it. I think when Fury go into all of their games outside of maybe the Bleed game, and even in that game, you know, there's still probably some level of expectation. I think Fury as a roster, though, and a team are certainly far and away experienced enough to handle any sort of anticipation or expectation to come from being the favored team in these matchups. NOCAP are more than good enough that if they have a really good night tonight, they could certainly beat Fury. So Fury's got to be aware of that. That's up to Vaughn, Mad Duck Ranger. I still got to figure out which one he actually prefers. I guess it's probably just like 50-50, but I think Fury, the way that they played yesterday, showing to me that they are prepared for this stage. And I think they need to win this like 7-2. Well, maybe not 7-2. 7-3, 7-4. 7-3, 7-4 is the kind of scoreline I expect from this matchup. And that would just sort of signify that Fury aren't messing around. If this goes to like OT or they get pushed to the limit, or even at most lose, then I'd be incredibly concerned.
Yeah, wow. High stakes then for Fury, high expectations. But already I'm seeing good things from this roster, right? Like even just having a look at that ban phase, you see them getting rid of Vigil and Kali. Very unusual operator bans, particularly the Vigil. We saw NOCAP using that yesterday. He's come roaring back into the meta as everyone has suddenly fallen in love with the Boss G for some reason. And the Kali I'm a little bit less sure about. Perhaps people are worried about that parking repel. Perhaps there's something else I don't know about. With the Kali on this map, we didn't see NOCAP play it yesterday here. But Fury, having really specific bans in mind, does telegraph to me that they have quite an understanding and are predicting how NOCAP will play this.
All right, let's get into this one as we head into Playday number 2. Stage number 2, match number 1. And yeah, obviously when we kind of looked at the match schedule tonight, the last 2 matches, probably a little bit more on the one-sided. I'm excited for the next game, though. I think even maybe more than this one now. I feel like the pre-show, we kind of at least hyped that one up pretty nicely for Rival and Direwolves to play after this. So a nice little circuit breaker to begin. NOCAP, can they find a way to regain old form? It's certainly not going to happen overnight. Well, I think the interview we had with Onigiri yesterday was so insightful in telling the fact that he's had so little time even just being on a computer, let alone inside of the server, playing scrims, playing with his team. Sure, there's history, James, and there's a lot of history. But in terms of recency, yeah, they're going to have to rebuild back up.
Very much so. Funnily enough, we talked a lot about Critche and Onigiri in the pre-show. Critche was not actually the best player on Fury in Stage 1. It was BG Man. And the best player in the whole league actually was Onigiri from, I believe, the 2 maps that he played. He ended up being the highest rated player in the league. Of course, low sample size. Yeah, I don't think he had a chance to play some of the top teams in the league. But yeah, he's fully capable, I believe. He had a slow start on Bank yesterday, but ended up with a positive EPS. We'll see if he's a little bit more informed today. As this top floor attack, there's a lot of util coming on through, trying to clear out these positions around Janitor Closet. Not a lot of presence at top square as of yet.
Yeah, kind of slow approach. I mean, CEO can certainly play like that if you go to the Repel game over towards Square as well. There's some mini games you've got to deal with. Not really seeing a whole lot of aggression from NOCAP playing the more default positions over towards like Kanto, elevators, hallway. Do like this for Mr. Punch though with the Ulcer. You can get good sightline down towards stock hallway. I think they're just trying to really displace Janitor as much as they possibly can. But good news so far for NOCAP is they don't look panicked by the fact that Fury are in some pretty good positions. They're definitely playing the time here. Still over a minute. Clearly a bit of a focus to dislodge Critche.
Yeah, it's easier said than done as well. Okay, a little bit of a mistake there. I9 gets a long angle on Mark as he repels on in. However, eventually Critche, that pivotal player inside of Janitor, will go down.
Okay, well, quick little double. Brings it into a really good position now for NOCAP. Certainly now, with the numbers, 4v2, can start to hit site more direct, and I think that means for Dark, it's time to get a move on. Got to take the next contact fight on your next terms, and he can't do that. Onigiri the big kill. Like all to fall. In the end, it was actually pretty comfortable for NOCAP. They looked very patient in the way they were attacking that round.
Yeah, it was really nice and quite a simple attack, to be honest. They essentially just repelled on the windows, started to force those positions to be a little bit more exposed. You have a guy top square with his really safe position behind that Osa shield, and then you just talk up the pressure. Eventually, Fury will expose themselves. You find a pick here, you find a pick there. I really like what we saw there from NOCAP. They were patient, and they made Fury look quite uncomfortable.
Attackers need to locate and defeat.
Yeah, I mean, look, comfortable, somewhat. CEO executive, you can certainly get a little bit uncomfortable when the attack starts to surround you, essentially. I think Fury almost looked a little bit too bunkered down, a little bit too passive on the defense. At no point did they really go for that kind of counterpunch aggression over to NOCAP, who started to get some really good position over towards top square. Played the repel well. Intriguing site choice as well, opening round to go top floor rather than basement. We head there now for the second round, where I imagine Fury will be looking to rectify it. Kind of looking at the lineup though, Tuber round in play. We do see the Solars too for Dark. This will of course be before the new changes to come.
Yeah, I think Scatman, formerly known as Sapper, actually managed to get his drone. I don't know if the obs can hear us, but if we can have a look at the drone in the corner just to the left of where Dark ran past, perhaps we won't get a chance to have a look at it, but there was a pre-place. There you go, beautiful work. So Scatman still managed to get his drone in open area, which is a spot that's usually quite easy to shoot at. Eventually it is spotted, and the Solus makes good of his util upstairs as well. So while I thought that NOCAP had been allowed some drones in the building for early entry, Fury just managed to take them down, and it doesn't seem like they've really lost anything for it.
Yellow ping information. Dark, I think, wanted to get aggressive maybe on NOCAP if they repel in top floor to make their entry points. He's not the only one second floor though, with Crit J over towards Janitor, so I think Fury wanting to get a little bit more aggressive here on this second round. Top floor roam, basement defense. NOCAP certainly are going to be wary of that. We saw the patience from them in the opening round. I imagine that will follow suit here as well. Not wanting to rush in. They'll give the respect to Fury. And certainly respect that has been earned over the last couple of stages. They don't fear them. Big swing from Dark wanting to make contact. And contact was made, but didn't really get a lot of damage onto Mr. Punch. And that's Dark's position now known as well. NOCAP fully aware of the fact that there is a roam up above. Crit J does get his kill though on the drop and does get one advantage for Fury.
But this is a big moment here. I9 does find his pick. Crit J has continued to be devastating on the roam, eventually traded back by Mark from up on the hatch. But this open area control has not yet been confirmed by NOCAP. Fury have done a phenomenal job on this roam. Now it's really awkward for NOCAP. See if there's a way to get this control. It looks like I9 will be droned out in a brief moment. Mark, he didn't check that corner. Is he going to pre-fire it? I9 is actually repositioned now as well, away from the printer, and he's going to go back towards the hatch. He actually doesn't have a retreat opportunity, so he's just going to play his life and try and waste as much time and deal as much damage as he can. However, the logic bomb makes that a little bit difficult. Mr. Punch on the other side of a soft wall opens a hole, and I9! Oh my god, what kind of shot through the wall is that? He is traded back, but Mark's now in a 1v3, and I'll hazard a guess that he ain't winning this one.
He does have to fuse the 35 seconds. Position known over towards Beepers. 3 can just play down below though. Hold the cross and make sure that at no point does Mark create a couple of 1v1s. He's taking too long here though. Idea of course to open up these hatches and try and provide different avenues. Keep Fury guessing as to where you're going to make the drop. But of course with the electrifying towards Vault. Lovely shot though. You don't actually need to hold that angle. If you're BG man, you can allow him to move forward in towards lobby and then swing out, play with someone else. But yeah, these flashes are not going to deter. Surely this plan doesn't get down successfully. Indeed it does not. Okay, response from Fury is pretty good. It's a very strong one considering they played the roam game that round, so they really did take it to NOCAP. It's not a case of sitting 5 on site, playing the util game. They got right in their face and won out because of it.
Little tech pause here while we sort out a technical issue, but overall, really impressed by Fury on that roam. A lot of individual players who were not necessarily on top of each other. Like, I think we had 2 roamers. One was all the way in front desk, one was in janitor. We had a player in open area. That's quite a separated roam. That's not players like playing tag team. However, there were avenues for them to support each other, and they were constantly moving based on information. Took out a couple of drones in prep phase, and then it came down to just playing off each other well and winning some 1v1s. It was quite straightforward for Fury at the end of it. When you got players like Crit J and I9 stepping up and fragging out, then yeah, it's going to be pretty difficult to clear a map like Bank.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what Fury want to do, though. You kind of looked at that opening round. If you talk as a team, discuss and say, well, where did things go wrong? There was a bit more passive nature for Fury. They weren't wanting to take the fight, so try and maybe change that a little bit, and they were able to alter their strategy, go for more of that roam game. You can certainly do that, of course, on basement. Second floor, it can be a little bit more difficult, and you kind of end up just playing these key positions: hallway, janitor, long desk, on site, or front desk as well. And so you kind of then get stuck. Canto, elevator, there's not as much of that roam game potential, so it worked really well for Fury. Can they find a way as they head back second floor to maybe implement that, even if it's just one player that's holding like blue stairs, then goes for like a square flank, something different, which you can certainly do, and it can sometimes catch off guard a couple of players looking for like a default square push, which is something that NOCAP kind of were doing that opening round. So we'll see. Fury might just be a case though where it's like, hey, we played really bad first round, let's do the same thing but better. Teams do like to do that, so I don't know if they'll mix it up too much.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, especially because NOCAP had such a clear way of dealing with all of the setup from Fury in this position. Okay, so one thing that I don't believe we saw last time is this exact Kaid placement in Janitor Closet. I think the intention there is to try and protect the player inside Janitors. Walls being breached. Looks like Dark's going to use his other Electric Law here on the Kanto wall. Not sure I saw this last time as well, but that's quite an unusual mirror placement. Where BG Man does have to be careful. He's in a very exposed position playing here. And if we see NOCAP hold on to top square like they did last time, albeit without the OSA this time around, then it could be quite straightforward to displace that mirror position.
Ooh, Dark finds an opening kill. That's something we didn't see in the opening round either. A bit of a spawn peek, I would imagine. So, one down. That already is going to make this a far more difficult round to take now for NOCAP in comparison to the opening round. You don't have the numbers trying to push through these corridor positions. Fury can get a little bit more aggressive. Evident they're already by Dark. They can kind of double down on that now in this round with that advantage already acquired. So, great start for Fury. What can NOCAP now do to sort of navigate this situation?
There's a lot of util to clear here. Lots of castle barricades to deal with. You've got mirror windows as well. Like the Ash, that utility is stretched really thin. And this is why taking out DCH in particular, the Zofia, is so impactful, right? Because Zofia's got 2 concussions that can burn through some of Wamai's discs, and 2 explosives, which can take down some of these castle barricades. Now the Ash is going to have to do it all herself, which is not ideal considering the Ash also you want to be using on those mirror windows.
I mean, look at the difference though, opening round. By this point, James, they already had top square control. They already had pressured out this hallway position. Stock was a position they could push into. Even the rappel game started to already take place, getting into airlock. 60 seconds left. What have they actually got? Everyone's on the exterior. This is a complete reversal from what we saw in the opening round.
And that mirror window is still protected as well. There is still one Ash breaching round left for Onigiri. Needs to make sure it doesn't get sent straight into one of Wamai's discs. Mr. Punch does find a good kill onto I9. One of the big players on site that prevented an early entry from NOCAP last time. And we do have this control now from Mr. Punch at top square. Doesn't have the OSA shield to protect him. He's got the DMR in his hands. He's about to find another player at that mirror window.
Is he going to be prepared though if their swing does come through from 2 different angles? Somehow he lives. Probably should have died there. The janitor swing and then from sight as well. Makes his way back out with 15 seconds upcoming though. This is not really where you want to be. Yeah, sure, good shot from Mark, but they got numbers everywhere. 10 seconds left in the round. Kit acquired by Scatman.
Good shots. Potential now for the attack to come out ahead, but Dark and Mr. Punch the last 2 left. Oh no, Dark! He went for the fold, but he's caught at the last moment. Oh, thinking their lucky stars must be NOCAP. They stole that round.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they worked their way through that round more so than maybe stealing it, because I think a steal would have been like a, super clutch 1v3. Sure, they didn't start well. I definitely don't think they started well, and I think Fury, by and large, were better throughout the vast majority of that round. But with 60 seconds left, starting to hit towards sight, NOCAP just looked a little bit more thorough with what they wanted to do, how they wanted to execute. So, certainly by no means in a good position. There's like 18 seconds left, 3v4 in favor of Fury. You got 1 player towards Terrace. You got this push over towards Banana as well. Look at this, even at this point, it's a 2v3. Some really good shots hit, but they had a bit of a pinch. They had 2 players opposite side of the site itself. In the end, NoCap just kind of went for it, hit some great shots. The earlier work didn't quite work out. I thought Fury actually were fine, but I don't think they did anything wrong. But I don't know how you botched that one. Again, I don't know if it's quite steal territory, because I feel like a steal involves something more than just like a 2v3. But by no means were NoCap in the position to win that round, yet they find a way to do it. That's not good for Fury. They've already given up 2 attacking rounds now to NoCap, and on the same side.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think that Fury threw that or anything. I think that NoCap just... Their plan straight up didn't work because they got spawn peak. They didn't have the utility to deal with it. I mean, you identified that really early, Jake. And yet they just flipped a switch. They're like, all right, let's just force lobby, and they made it work. Fun little moment there was seeing Onigiri die to the barbed wire. Very... Not often that you see that in the kill feed, the barbed wire combat. It's only in a recent patch where barbed wire actually deals damage. I wonder if Onigiri's played enough to be used to that happening. I'm not sure exactly the situation, how he died walking through barbed wire. I assume he was getting shot while walking through it, and that was just the killing blow. A funny moment nonetheless.
Doesn't do too much, but yeah, I mean, I think I'm almost certain it came in when he was last playing. It's been a good couple of months now. Still, a challenge here now set for Fury. 3 rounds in, we've only been able to find 1. I love the aggression here from Mr. Punch playing off the yellow pig information. And BG Man on the move. I mean, this is really just kill drone, fall back. He should know he's getting hunted here. He can't continue to hold in towards archives. Also, the pulse, you can try and scan around, get some information, see if they're starting to, you know, hone in on your location, but keeps the pistol out.
Yeah, well, problem is he's not got the UMP, he's got the shotgun, so he's not really made for these longer or even mid-range engagements. That shotgun's only great in really close range, which is why he's having to use that pistol. It's far from ideal, especially going up against the DMR. His intention was likely to just stay downstairs for the majority of the round and only have to use the shotgun vertically. Scatman, though, does find I9. This is not looking good for Fury. Already 1 round in deficit on the defensive side. BG Man is essentially trapped here in archives. Mr. Punch slowly making his way forward.
Well, Scatman's at square as well, James. So they know for a fact that he hasn't been able to cross back. This is really nicely played by NoCap, and the communication. Again, they're not rushing it. Like, Mr. Punch holding these angles is great because he's probably anticipating it. BG Man might look to push forward because it's not like he can push back. Barricaded off. There's the close range angle. That's where the shotgun certainly can be good. No success found, though, for BG Man, and this is turning into an absolute slaughter in the 4th round. The most one-sided round that we've had so far between these 2 teams, and not ideal for Fury. We didn't get to see the other 2 deaths, James, but so far, NoCap have had no problems in this round.
And also, you look at the weaponry on the last 2 remaining players, right? SMG-11, that's maybe good for a 1v1, but not for multiple players swinging you. Not for players dropping the hatch like this. Lycolis is a real spot of bother, and he's taken down immediately. All up to Critche, and yeah.
Timeout.
Flawless rounds. This is 3-1. Where's Fury, Jake? Where are your boys?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. And this is where, look, you can get tested. You can come in and you can have it all, the utmost preparation and be ready for a match like this. But are you ready to be down 3-1? Are you ready to be able to kind of talk things over calmly, figure it out? Okay, they've got a bit of a head start. It is Bank. Certainly attacking on Bank by no means is like the most surprising thing ever, right? So I don't think Fury, you know, the alarm bells aren't ringing just yet, but they certainly will be by the end of this half if they can't find more than 1 round. We go back to lockers. Okay, you can kind of get a little bit of form back there. You played it well last time. But the problem is, last time out, yes, you played the roam game. Either NoCap's going to be prepared for that, and they can either hit site directly, they can go a little bit faster, or they can actually play into that roam game knowing they're going to do it. Or your second option is to play 5 basement. If you do that, you're giving up a lot above. Doesn't look like they will do that based on the operator lineup that they're going to bring. I don't recall the Echo last time. That might be a change-up, but once again, the likes of the Solus being brought here. So, big round for Fury. Must-win round for Fury. You can't be losing basement here on Bank when you're already down 3-1. NoCap looking sharp, though, hitting a lot of really good shots. And it's actually Mr. Punch as well. 8-1 who's leading the way. We put the highlight onto Crit J as one of the top players. 2-4. Needs to get involved.
Very true. Yeah, Mr. Punch as well. He's not playing necessarily entry a lot of the time. He's playing that kind of 5th man, flank watch, often stabbing from a different direction, not really pressuring too much, just playing patiently with DMRs. And it's a role that he is really flourishing in. But Jake, not to add too much to Fury's misery, but statistically they should be having more success on their defense. Yes, Bank can be a good map for the attacking side, but if you look specifically at what this roster is used to, they actually have not lost a defense on Bank the last 2 times that they've played this map. And that includes playing against Elevate. Both Fury and NOCAP are better on their defenses of Bank than they are on their attacks. And so Fury to be down so far, this has to change right now. They need to gun for a 3-3 half, and that means not making any more mistakes.
Oh, well, that's a mistake from Onigiri. I mean, you know, this is the exact same setup. By the way, James, they are playing the exact same setup as last time. Crit J over towards Janitor, Dark around the hallway, on the roam, these two up above, second floor. You don't need to be kind of swinging that window top square. Go for the more safer entries. And they've done it again. I guess that's probably a terrace push from Mr. Punch, top square. Crit J just swings out Janitor. We didn't get to see it, but that's maybe the assumption there. And you've just somewhat similar to the round in which Fury did win on basement, second round. It's playing out almost identically.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
The action's starting to go down here. You hear the exothermic go off from Mark. Still upstairs is Dark. He drops down, and I think he's about to get backstabbed. Okay, so amidst the chaos, we have a very ambitious drop there from DCH, which doesn't seem to work out. Very strange mid-round in which NOCAP just decided to send it downstairs. It didn't look particularly intentional, but I guess they were trying to retreat from the flanking roamers at the same time and thought, look, you may as well just go for it. It does leave poor Scatman in a 1v2. And
Can't win this, surely.
it's winnable. You isolate.
You got Yokais. You can play the Yokais. I9's in gold. He doesn't have to do anything here, but just get on that Yokai drone. Or he can just swing. He could just swing. If that was a fake plant and he had his gun up and I9 dies there, I might have actually cried. But he does go to stick it. I9 doesn't mess around. I want to know how BG Man died actually at that point, James, because I think when you've got the two roamers up above, it's very likely NOCAP are eventually going to want to try and shut them down. They did that. They got those kills. Sure, lost a couple of players in the process. At some point throughout all of that, BG Man goes from basement to first floor and dies. And then that kind of made Sight a little bit more vulnerable. That should have been a 1v3 at the end, and that should have been absolutely no questions. But instead, it did become a bit more of a question. That's just a little bit, honestly, poor from Onigiri. And you've got to be aware of the fact that Janet is being held. If Janet is being held, then the top square is going to be a bit dirty. So, yeah, I don't know what there. We didn't quite get to see it, but BG Man just goes up and dies and doesn't offer anything. He's 0-5. You brought him up as being statistically the best for Fury last stage. Well, not the greatest start here in this match, which is turning out to be a very important one.
Very much so. You said that Fury can't afford to drop any points in this game, and I said they need to get a 3-3 half. It's possible. It does hinge on this top floor, and NOCAP have won this twice now. The second time was very close, though. It came down to a 1v1. It's the one that I said NOCAP stole, and I still kind of stand by that. I don't think Fury did anything particularly wrong, but they were in the driver's seat for that whole round. NOCAP had a really nice last-minute switch up of ideas, and they executed it well. The thing that I'm really impressed with NOCAP is they just seem so on the ball. Like, they've got some great ideas, but when it's a high-intensity moment, they seem to have the chemistry to be able to just flick the switch and go for something even if it's not what the original plan was. And that was what we expected perhaps to be a weakness of NOCAP, as they have had quite a few roster changes, as Onigiri has been out of the game for quite some time. So I'm pretty impressed. And if they can win this round, then there's no doubt about how we'll be looking going into the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I think even if they lose this round at 3-3, it's still a really good half for NOCAP, and they've really put Fury on notice. It's all about that response, and so far so good, but it's only the one site. In fact, the one site is the only one they've been able to win so far for Fury. Is basement. Onigiri, 1-3, but he's been involved, a couple of assists as well. Did throw his life away in that previous round, but has, yeah, I think been pretty good so far. Top floor again. The Ossa has been a bit of a nuisance. This time, a bit of a back shield, but you can pick this up, move it, then when you get a bit more control, especially if that player in Janitor can't quite swing out. You can then get it facing down the hallway, try and then clear stock. So it's all a process. Plus, you got the second one as well. I remember last time out, though, James, it was like a minute left, 4v5 in favor of Fury. NOCAP were all still out in the exterior. They didn't even have top square control. So already a little bit better here for NOCAP. Even though they did make a meal of it last time, they won the round. This time, they're playing it better. And we're getting some value from these clutch drones as well.
smoke used here, potentially in tandem with a Selma to try and open up this janitor position. I'm not sure if it was successful. Here comes the Brava drone, the Cludge. What's it looking for, though? Because there's not really a lot of util to target.
My magnets.
Yeah, it's got to be the magnets. I mean, technically the electric wars as well, but okay, a little bit of chaos going on, and as static fills the screen, we eventually see it is a 4 versus 4. So still a solid position for NOCAP. Even though they lost a player, they did manage to trade I9 back again.
Love that angle there for Onigiri. Can look down the hallway, can look into a site. Critche finds a double, though, playing the janitor position. Super crucial. He's going to have to make contact. He's getting a lot of pressure from that square side of the map, and he just swings out, finds 2 kills. Onigiri couldn't get a trade despite having somewhat of an angle into this direction. 30 seconds. But it is only 3 up at the moment for Fury. Lycolis on the floor, certainly still winnable here for NOCAP. But again, it might be that steal territory if they win it from here. Good shot from Onigiri. He's going to have to wind that clock back.
Big chance for him now to prove he is not washed. In for the flank comes BG Man. Yet to find a kill. Onigiri with the quad, but traded. Almost the ace up for the big man. But Dark wins his 1v1 this time around, and with that, Fury will tie the half.
Yeah, I mean, he used to be the little genius, the little master, and I think we saw shades of it there. 4K, and he looked like he wanted that moment, James. He didn't look like he shied away from it. He went straight in towards site. He was more than happy to push forward and find that contact, seek it out, get that kill, get that ace, and win the round. In the end, turns around, great headshot, but really nicely done from the duo for Fury. Played off each other. If he's going to kill your teammate, you need to get that trade. You need to get that swing immediately. And they did so. We didn't even get a chance for Onigiri to then turn around and find that ace. 3-3, what a half. It's been a really tremendous half from both teams. We've seen some good, we've seen some bad. Certainly, the response for Fury, though, swift. Absolutely swift. They were down 3-1. They looked a little bit, shaky, out of sorts. They bring it back. Now we can see what their attack is made of.
Momentum is certainly flipped here. We do see a sneaky little DCH upstairs underneath a desk. This is a bit of a classic position for a Caveira to play. And yeah, it really just comes down to Fury have to do their due diligence. Otherwise, they could lose the round single-handedly to DCH. But the rest of the round will have to go down as well. We can't focus on that entirely. It may appear... it really depends how NOCAP try and play around it. What I'm hoping is that players like Mr. Punch will be providing some form of distraction, saying, hey, look at me, Fury, and then falling back to sight, and then Fury won't be thinking about the Caveira coming up from behind them.
I think the most telling thing for me is going to be the way that NOCAP played this round in particular. Basement, lockers, CCTV. Again, it looks like they're actually going to emulate Fury and get aggressive on the roam. As you mentioned, the Cav, well, immediately through long desk. You've also got Scatman here in the hallway. And this could be a classic case of Scatman makes contact down the hallway towards square, then falls down main. But it's Mark that finds the opening kill onto I9. Fury actually going for a bit more of that first floor push. They haven't cleared out top floor. They didn't even make contact top floor. But if they had have made contact with Scatman, he falls down main, they might not have then been aware for DCH.
Does mean that Fury are very much focused up on this middle floor, as I believe Mark has just dropped back to site. Still 2 roamers on the top floor, but BG Man seems to be reasonably aware of it. Fury are not making any assumptions about how clear the map is, and that will work in their favor. If they were too lax and expected that the map was clear, then they would get backstabbed. So I like that they're still being careful, but it does mean the time is slipping away.
Yeah. I mean, certainly you mentioned it. I was going to bring it up, but yeah, BG Man in stock. He hasn't moved. So we haven't really seen him do a whole lot. And I think, yeah, indeed, just waiting. I think the fact that Critche's in open, it's kind of like, well, if anyone's second floor, they may want to come into stock to try and play the vert, play the hatch. He hasn't really moved. Now he goes forward. Has he cleared out long desk, though? No, he hasn't. I mean, that's just timing. Really nicely done with the Jiggle Peak from DCH. We're going to get the interrogation.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much round over from here. Fury have fumbled. DCH is worth his weight in gold, and now he continues to be a threat. All of the players on the attack spotted by the defense, and they do start to shape up. I like this from Fury. They're still looking so confident. However, unfortunately, like Colas drops With the diffuser as well inside server, NOCAP have well and truly dominated.
I don't want to sound too critical and too harsh, but there's like 45 seconds left in the round, James, and they still haven't cleared long desk. It seemed like they had some kind of an inkling of a player up there. Dark gets one back, but it's all stat padding at this point. Scatman pops up, easy kill. They never even got a sniff onto site, and that's quite disappointing. Yeah, sure, Dark's in towards server, but I mean, even at that point, maybe you could have tried to go for a pinch, get a bit of main control, and then one pushes up, the other one comes out of stock. At worst, to get the trade. It just felt like solo play all around the map for Fury. You know, even Critchay pushing through admin, first floor, you know, trying to clear out open and staff, but he was all by himself, couldn't get trades. Like, disjointed really was that attack from Fury, whereas on the flip, NOCAP played really well. They weren't disjointed. You know, they had one top main, one long desk. If you get, you know, shot at, you fall down, I then get the swing, easy kill. All of these kind of positions in NOCAP, it's far and away better. They played that superbly. That was maybe one of the... Even though Fury won basement twice, I almost liked that better from NOCAP anyway.
Yeah, look, I actually don't mind the macro intention there from Fury. I think it's okay to look to hit open area directly and have your one player, I believe it was BG Man on the Hibana in the top floor, because his entire purpose, as you said, is he was just waiting for someone to try and go to those two hatches to flank open area. You've got the hatch in stock that he was protecting, and also the hatch in janitors. And any player looking to move from the front of the top floor towards that janitor hatch, he would get a free kill on. So I actually really liked the idea of BG Man playing that. The problem was that he wasn't patient enough. He decided to move because he started feeling like
that's the thing.
He was doing nothing, and then all he did was give away his life and an interrogation. So if he had stayed patiently, at worst, he doesn't give up a free kill in interrogation, and at best, he gets a pick or two. So I like the idea. It's just sometimes it comes down to micro decision making, and yeah. You can't necessarily fault him, but that's the reality of what happened.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely not faulting him. I'm 100% in agreement. I think the entire first part of what he's doing there is absolutely right. But then it's like, if you're going to move, if you're going to go for that push, you've got to have a bit more of the team aspect there. Get some help, have someone coming in. But I think you're right. I think it just came down to, you know, and to be fair, that's also clock pressure. You know, there's like 45, 50 seconds left. You're still holding it. You're like, well, I don't think they're coming, guys. I need to start doing something. And then as soon as you do that, you push out the hallway, you're dead. 4-3 though, and no takeaway here. NOCAP are looking really good. And I'm at the point now where I could start to think they're favorites to win it from here. They're on defense. They're playing a little bit better. They look more switched on as a team. That's, for me, the thing I'm most surprised about. I thought it was going to be a switch, a role reversal, James. I thought Fury would look the better team with NOCAP having more individual prowess, but it hasn't been that way.
I'm starting to think you don't take NOCAP to bank, right? Fury, we talked about this during the map veto. They were the ones that had the choice about the map veto. Decided to ban away Clubhouse, which is one of their favorite maps, and now they're paying for it here on Bank. Mark finding the opening kill onto Dark. At least Dark had used most of his utility, but losing to a hollow site like that is a huge red flag, and now Fury are fighting once again with a player disadvantage.
Yeah, I know we spoke about the pre-show as well. You know, played at 1 last year, that loss against Shalita. This is a little bit different.
Seems to be a pattern, right?
Yeah, I mean, that one went to OT. Shalita kind of just like edged it out. They could legitimately win this like 7-3, 7-4, and that's not even, you know, that's worse. And maybe it's also just a case of this is a bad matchup for Fury. Maybe they don't like playing this particular roster. What happens if that then happens into the playoffs? What happens if we get to playoffs and you got to play NOCAP? That's quite scary. So I tell you what, it's great for the league though, because this becomes more of a 3-4 team kind of tournament rather than say just the top 2. Still a ways to go though. 60 seconds, 5v4. What a shot though from Mr. Punch. If you're Crit J, you're just wondering what the hell is going on. Held the angle nicely. He's basically walking around the corner, pops his head. I9 gets a trade elsewhere on the map, but it's all going the way of NOCAP.
Yeah, it really is. And you're right. If NOCAP can step up their game, this realistically could be a 4-horse race in Asia, and it's been a long time since we have said that. This used to be such a close and competitive region, but recently it has been more or less a 2-horse race. Big pick from BG.
First one on the board.
Does bring the numbers back even. Yeah, first kill in the whole game, 1 and 7. But the confidence from Scatman as he continues to peak. Beautiful work. And with that, it's all up to I9.
12 and 3.
And yeah, I mean, this is just an insane game from Mr. Punch, and I9, by one of his best friends, Scatman, taken down. Onigiri is very happy about that.
TT.
This is the NOCAP of old.
PT, please, please, timeout time. Fury, talk things over. For the love of God. Yeah, there it is. I thought maybe they could have taken it first half, James, when it was, 3-1, bit shaky. But, with only 2 rounds to go, you're playing basement. Yeah, okay, fair enough. You can save it. Try and get yourself back into the game. But I think it's time to talk things over here. I do wonder what Vaughn would be saying to the roster. This is a team that has, got so much synergy. They've been prepping so hard throughout the break coming into stage 2. Absolutely blew the door down on play day 1 against, not the worst team in the league by any means, but they're getting shown up right now. I mean, this is a bank where NOCAP have been largely in control, almost about the whole way through. The only rounds that Fury have looked even somewhat decent on are those basement rounds, which is not too surprising because it's basement on bank. Most teams typically win that one, and then the other 2 are a bit more 50-50. Attack can certainly find more avenues, but look at the difference in the player cams. You got guys in their bedrooms, no coach behind them, versus in a studio where you've got everyone together. You're basically on LAN, and you've got your coach there. Like, it's a completely different atmosphere, and yet Fury are getting absolutely shown up right now by NOCAP. I'm sensing this one's going to be very difficult to bring back. Good timeout, timely timeout. Now it's all about the response from it.
Yeah, and just to talk macro again for a second there, Jake, you mentioned that Fury have a lot of support. They're all in their gaming house. NOCAP are playing in their homes, which is actually kind of strange for them, right? Because back when they were Elevate, even when they was your leader, they were playing in that same gaming precinct, right? For a really, really long time. Now they're back in their houses. But for Fury, there's also been another change recently. They brought on Oceanic Great, Juicy, moving into a coaching role, joining that roster. And there's no two ways about it. Juicy has an... Oh, sorry. I'm just gonna
they got Vaughn. They don't need Juicy, man. They got the Mad Dog Ranger.
You know what? Vaughn is a bit of a legend. That man can hold his drink, I'll tell you that much.
Attackers are moving to defuse
Yeah.
the bomb.
I mean, look, I don't know where you're going with the Juicy thing. But
I actually don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. I had the biggest brain fart I've had in a while, so thank you for calling me out on that. My God.
It's fine, mate.
Well,
it's fine.
Well, I'll pivot into the other thing that was on my brain, which is the funny thing about NOCAP doing so well despite not being in there, like, all together, right? It's actually been a really long time since they've not played together in the same area, and yet the chemistry is still there. Something that Onigiri mentioned yesterday. It's going to take a little bit of time to get that chemistry back. We're finally seeing it, and I love it.
Yeah, and I think also you got to remember as well that like this roster has still been playing for a while, but a lot of the times without Onigiri. I mean, there was multiple stages where he was listed as like the substitute. Maybe we got the odd rare appearance every couple of weeks or something, but that was about it, largely due to his studying commitment. So even still, while this roster has been competing, they haven't had Onigiri. It used to be, of course, that superstar. Slow round here, 9th round. We haven't really had a whole lot in the opening portion of it. In towards top square for Fury on the entry through terrace. They spot Onigiri playing janitor. Goes in towards long desk, and it looks like he's going to be able to get away here. Oh no, he comes back. Why did he come back? What?
He had about 4 lives there in that moment. Eventually he did die, but yeah, Onigiri should have died a lot sooner than that. They got him in the end. Early pick for Fury, exactly what they need when they are so far down. But of course, DCH is still up, lingering in this top floor. And really, it's going to be down to this Doka big call to come on out, which I think Dark might get on right now. There you go. And with info, yeah, they already know. So DCH is now trapped in this corner. And he should be a dead man walking. Crit J should be able to get him here.
Yeah, I don't know about the should, if that works.
Oh, the timing.
And yeah, it doesn't. Ends up losing his life.
Yeah, that was just such unfortunate timing. He tried to play it right, did Crit J. He didn't want to take a risk. He decided to go for a flash, but just got timing to the exact moment that he got peaked was the moment he pulled the flash out.
Timing's going to get you. Sometimes timing's going to help you. 45 seconds. NOCAP can start to play site a little bit, but Staff and Open's kind of a difficult one to just kind of get people on site. Need to play the hatch drops, a lot of entry points. I love this angle for I9 as well. This should make this a very superior push for Fury. Does spot one. Could have maybe gone for a bit of trigger discipline. Does get a little bit of damage. Mr. Punch did land a kill. Yeah, I9 kind of giving that angle up a little bit too and missing the shots has kind of just allowed NOCAP to stay on site, hold the rest of these angles. That's a nice shot swing from BG, man. Despite struggling a little bit in this match, good kill. Opens up site, 10 seconds left. Nate doesn't make it through from I9. Makes his way out of archives. Scatman was the solo. He was the last alive. And he will fall, despite the shenanigans there from Fury, and certainly by no means a clinical round, James. They do get the win.
Yeah, a little bit all over the place. Good start, early pick. Good information on the second roamer on the top floor, and even though they lost a player, they still got in. They converted into the end. Couple of funny moments there, I9 nading himself, but all's well that ends well, and Fury got themselves around this, back within touching distance of NOCAP now, just one round behind. And yeah, maybe it's not over quite yet. Still not great. Like, there's a long way to go to this becoming a Fury win, which, like you said, that's got to be par for the course for them. They got to win this without dropping any points. In order to do that, they need to win the next 3 rounds in a row. I don't see that happening. I think NOCAP have got at least one more round in them, especially as they are on the defense and these bomb sites will continue to be unlocked. There was that really unfortunate moment with the flash. But
yeah,
end of
at least
the
he
day,
had Dark
not too
behind
bad
him though.
for
Like they were pushing together. That was the right way to play it, and that's something that we didn't see from Fury in some of the earlier rounds. So timed with the flash, but overall you had the right intentions there as a team. This is a little bit funny though. The moment there for I9 as he.
Why are we slowing this down, production, bro?
So unfortunate. I don't actually think it really, in the end mattered at all.
You got to
but
kill
it is
about 2 seconds later anyway.
It's about the comedy behind it. Even the pros will make the odd error every now and then. 5-4 on the scoreboard. First match of the day turning into a bit of a banger. Fury certainly still with some work to do. Certainly still don't look like their usual selves. I think they can get to another level. They're certainly going to have to. BG Man starting to get some kills as well. Started 1-7, now 3-8. So he's getting involved. You can kind of feel that inside of the server. 13-4 for Mr. Punch, though. He has been tremendous.
Been a long time since I've seen Mr. Punch show up to this level. He's always been a great player, really consistent, but he's never been a star player, which is fine. He doesn't need to be. But right now, he certainly is looking like one. Give him a magnified scope on defense, and he'll work wonders. He's doing so on the Goyo now. He was doing so on the Dock previously. Now that it comes to this roam clear, we're seeing Critch back on this Buck. The Lion in tandem. Operator that's really coming to the meta. The Dokkaebi joins in. All these global abilities making it really difficult for the NOCAP roamers to be safe, but still no picks have come on out as the defense continues to peel back the layers.
Yeah, I mean, it's 5 basement, though. I mean, outside of Scatman lurking towards bot main, it's a pretty decent job using said, global util, like you said, although he's actually lurked all the way up to second floor, so Scatman retakes a bit of map control. I mean, that's quite important. He's done that very, very slowly. Fell basement, all the way back up through Beeper's portion, and now sits top floor. He can be a flank option from many different avenues. Square, through stock in towards open staff. He can go back down main. So there's a lot that he can do in this round now to unlock it. For NOCAP, something that Fury I don't think are going to be prepared for.
There's actually really good info on site. I'm pretty sure I just saw then that Critch's actually got a drone in the B bomb site, so he knows exactly where that Goyo is. He's also getting information on this player underneath the red hatch as well. Fury can start to isolate these players. They need the Twitch drones to get in there and clear more of these Vulcan canisters. There's another one pop. BG finally takes down Mark. That is the opening that Fury have been looking for this whole part.
Yeah, I think Scatman's going to go second floor and play off a flank from that side, anticipating a default push from Fury. So be prepared that he might eventually make his way down blue or down through this hatch. Logic Bomb out, can stall him. He does get a kill onto Crit J. These two have got to be aware of that. He's actually fallen back in towards Long Desk. He takes the battle outside Janitor in the hallway. Kills though for Fury towards site. More successful. Big kill for Dark. And suddenly DCH the solo.
So winnable for him. Still a C4 in pocket, and he is the Warden, the perfect operator to look through these smokes. 3 flashes on Dark. Useless against the Warden. And there's DCH for one. The second player's dropped. DCH can't win the fight. Fury get the round they needed the most. And we're tied up 5 rounds apiece.
Oh, it's so unlucky. He sees him duck into his right side that he's looking at, so he's anticipating that swing, moves the crosshair, but he was still so wide, so far out in that hallway, and so as soon as he tries to bring that crosshair back, he's just in a horrible, horrible position. So unlucky. Winnable. Super, super winnable. Did a good job to bring it back to a 1v1. Super fun round. Tech pause coming out. Big, big moment here as we go to 5-5. Fury bringing it back, and it is indeed, sorry, attack pause.
Yeah. Finally tactical called by NOCAP. Really, it was Fury on the ropes for most of this game, but slowly and surely they do bring it back. We're even here. The next team to get around, of course, finds match point with that guarantees that they will get at least 1 point on the stand. They keep the door open for getting the full 3 points here. I have a feeling we are heading towards overtime, though. We saw it in stage 1. It was NOCAP that came out ahead 8-6. It could seriously be, like, I would not be surprised. Either of these teams win it in regulation, we go overtime. Either of these teams win it. This game is so neck and neck. It could be any of those outcomes.
Been a great game. Does kind of feel like whoever ends up losing this, though, is going to be very disappointed. I legitimately think at this point, both teams were disappointed. You know, coming into this game, NOCAP, you could maybe forgive for losing this 7-4, 7-5, James, and I don't think many would be like harsh on them, but they've been in a position to win this game. For large portions of this match, I think they've been the better team. The score, though, says 5-5, and Fury are more than capable of winning the next two and shutting this out. I do think there's a high likelihood we do go to overtime, would be the first one for the stage, but yeah, Fury lose. Of course, they're just disappointed in general as one of the teams who are always going to be heavily favored throughout pretty much every match besides the bleed one, so bit of disappointment here to begin day 2 for stage 2 for one of these two teams. If you win it, though, my goodness, the elation and the sigh of relief to get over this finish line. Staff and open area, 11th round. Break point. Who can get to match point?
I'm actually really quite worried here for NOCAP. I know that it sounds like I'm changing my tune quickly, but hear me out. We're looking at open area. NOCAP just lost the basement, which they had previously won. They've actually still got the top floor open, unlocked. They could have gone to. But instead, they decided to go back to staff room and open area, which is the first attack round that Fury won. And they won it quite convincingly, if you recall. So NOCAP are taking quite a gamble here. Admittedly, they have made some lineup changes. They're not going to be lingering in the top floor as much, I don't expect. And of course, we also have the Bandit coming through. The Fury did a really good job of opening up that big staff room wall last time around and exposed a lot of these power positions on site for NOCAP. We actually do still have roamers in the top floor. They really need to have more impact than last time around.
I'm reloading.
I really do hope, though, for NOCAP, this is not just going to be kind of another one-hit wonder where they can be so competitive against a team like Fury. Can they find a way to not drop games? You know, because really stage 1, they beat Fury, and then they started to drop matches to other teams, and then they kind of dwindled down the standings. By the playoffs, certainly petered out. Onigiri sits long desk, DCH, hallway playing off each other. Good positions here for NOCAP. Anticipation for this push from Fury, who now have got a bit of control over towards top square. Even first floor control, actually, I think is where now you got to go if you're NOCAP. I don't think you can play this top floor for much longer. The drop has made its way through, and no one is now top floor for NOCAP. Everyone in the middle layer.
I mean, that is fine. I would rather see NOCAP retreat than give away their life. But the concern here is once you fall from the top floor on this bomb site, there's a lot of vertical potential. And also the amount of DMRs we're seeing play makes it very difficult to play behind these keeper barriers. And yet Mr. Punch is able to outduel the DMR of I9 and replace his keeper barrier. So he's well positioned to hold on to this spot for a really long time.
Hard to be too critical for I9. I think just wanting to deal with the keeper barriers, keep the pressure on, you deal with the barrier, then suddenly the Azami's in a really bad position behind the bomb chassis. Certainly a very easy kill if you hit your shots. He doesn't, though. He gives away his life. One logic bomb available, down a player. There's not a lot of time left in this round, James, and they haven't really done a whole lot, only just now opening up the wall, and even still needing to deal with this barrier and this Azami. It just feels like there's so much in front of them that needs to be dealt with so little time.
What's more, there is a player still ready to flank upstairs. It is DCH. Keep that in the back of your mind. While Fury focus up on the bomb site. The logic bomb goes out. DCH has been caught off in the flank, and a big open up, and another flank comes through for Mark. Straight up the blue stairs. He's opened up the round for NOCAP. He's closed the door on Fury. Match point is well within NOCAP's grasp, but a few more kills is all for Fury. Out of nowhere. They ripped the rug out from under NOCAP's feet.
There was no time. Like, I need to watch it back. I honestly need to watch that one back. It
I need to
happened
watch
so
that
quick,
at
James.
0.25 times speed. What the hell just happened?
That is the best example, though, of never giving up on a round. They have no kit. There's 4 seconds left. You still got to find 2 kills. Typically in that scenario, defense is hiding. It becomes a hide-and-seek game for like the last 3-4 seconds. That doesn't happen, though. And they present an opportunity for Fury to steal it. That is a steal, James. That is an almighty steal. 1 for 1 in this match now for 2 teams stealing around. We're all squared up now in that regard. Fury should not have won that. As soon as Mark completes the flank from Blue Stairs, the round in my mind was over. Even at this point, it's a 3v3 with 13 seconds left. There's the kills. There's 5 seconds. So if you're NOCAP, you got 3 players up. You don't need to play aggressive here. Like, okay, you're hiding in a really bad spot. I mean, we didn't get to see the other player, but that comes down to positioning at the end of the round, understanding where the entries are going to come from, but also for Fury, that is just Crit J giving it everything and not giving up on the round. Tremendous fight. And look what it means for them. And that gives them so much momentum now going into this next round, the 12th round, to close this one out.
Oh, wow. I'm pretty speechless after that. It was a 2v4 in about 5 seconds, and Fury pulled the rabbit out of the hat, conjured something up out of nowhere. Now they've got match point. This has, for the most part, the whole game been NOCAP in control. Fury with so much more pressure on their shoulders than NOCAP, and yet they have proven that they are such a strong team that even when they're looking rattled at the start, they can recompose, and it is beautiful to see. Quick work from them to clear out these castle barricades. Looks to be a little bit of a pivot. They're actually looking at contesting stock for once on this top floor clear. Now, NOCAP have been very good at defending and attacking this top floor. This is their home. Fury haven't won a single round on this bomb site on either side as of yet.
I think it's a mental round now for NOCAP. That last round has to be just put out of your minds. They should have been up 6-5 right now. They should have had the match point.
Guess who's back?
I9.
Blitz is in town.
Blitz with the sends. And here we go, playing behind it. Dark will get himself essentially a fullback out of the NFL to push his way forward. I9 even finds a kill. Mark cleared out, and Janitor spots one at the back of long test towards Kanto, pushing towards top banana. Full control right now for Fury with the ROUs also going out. This is not looking good, but Onigiri steps up to the table to get involved. Huge kill found onto Crit J, the star frontman for Fury. Scatman to double down, and suddenly, James, NOCAP have turned the round around.
That they have. The blitz has gone down. It's up to Dark now to step up. Big frag for this team. He's on the Ash. He's got Lycolis on the windows. He takes a couple of more picks with this R4C ACOG in hands as he starts to go deep. 2 players from NOCAP waiting for him just around this corner. I don't think he knows. Mr. Punch.
They don't know.
15 kills so far.
Neither of them
know. It's a standoff. Whoever moves first will expose their position.
Oh, the swing. And he stood up. Oh, double kill for Mr. Punch. Having a tremendous game, and NOCAP send this one to overtime.
Nice to see smiles on the NOCAP faces. My God. This has been an insane game. This is one of my favorite games I've casted for a long time. The stories here, the Thai rivalry, these 2 teams going back as far as, what was it, 2018. We first saw these teams appear under the name Xavier and Q Confirm, now NOCAP and Fury, and all of the international events, all the history, all of the milestones, the accolades, achievements that these players have earned in that time, and yet it always comes back to this. I mean, how many Thai Operation League Grand Finals have we seen between these 2 teams? And here we are in a modest Playday 2 of the Asia League, and this is a banger straight out of the gates.
Yeah, you could legitimately get like a win-loss column for these 2 teams over the years, and you know, typically with organizations, it's like, oh, well, different rosters. Well, it's been pretty largely similar rosters throughout a lot of that time, despite a couple here or there. Look, enjoying this one, James, as you said. It's been a fun one. 6-6. Hard to really see who's going to take it from here. I think both teams have got really good arguments to close this out, but most importantly, NOCAP get double defense, and that's an argument that usually is infallible. Usually. It means for Fury, they're going to have to work extra hard here, as they're going to have to find Well, at least an attacking round if they're going to win this game.
Well, you know who wins out of this going to overtime? Everybody else in the league. The nature of how the overtime points system works. Teams like Elevate are going to be really happy about this. Obviously, Bleed really just focus inwardly. Their attitude is that they'll beat anyone. They don't really care about what happens in other matches. But particularly Elevate, they do need to make sure that NOCAP and Fury, especially Fury, are denied as many points as possible. Of course, the top two teams in this league do get a bye when it comes to the playoff bracket. So highly coveted that in the round robin, you end up in one of those top two spots.
This is great, though, if you're a fan of the Asia League. We want to see the competition. We don't want this to be a two-horse race. Admittedly, for NOCAP, win or lose from here, it's still going to be a question of can you do this to everyone else outside of maybe Bleed? Can you be that proverbial third team? Have you got that within you? And also, how much can you push a team like Bleed? A lot of us here kind of look at Fury and Bleed being on a similar level. Ramping information, wanted to clear out blue stairs. Dark on the Deimos, wants to and should win this battle. Never
No
mind.
way!
DCH
No!
with the shotgun gets them both. He even takes the peek towards E-Box. Despite being tracked, despite being pinged out, he has been able to take them down. Crit J lost his life. Dark is bleeding out. This is a travesty of an attacking round for Fury.
Oh no! I was going to say, DCS just needs to waste as much time as possible. Unfortunately, he goes to a loose nade. It does mean that the numbers are even because Dark was not finished off. He has been picked up again. That was a really good work from DCH, but it has been salvaged now by Fury as they shape up this execute on server.
Yeah, triple stack server, though, so they don't really have a lot of pressure elsewhere. It means all eyes for NOCAP can certainly be a little bit more one-dimensional. I mean, most importantly... Oh, shot from Onigiri! Deep, deep angle. And Lycolis will fall, giving back the advantage to NOCAP. He didn't have it evened up for very long, and he might get more chances. Doesn't quite land those ones. Of course, Dark very low. He needs to be careful. One shot from Onigiri for both him and Dark, and they will fall.
Oh, this is a gnarly angle as well for Onigiri. A flashbang. Another
He
one
got
for
them both.
Onigiri.
He got them both.
Dropping down the hatch. BG Man is caught in the crossfire. He goes down. NOCAP for the first time. They've got match point.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying, though. When you're triple stacking server like that, all eyes in one direction, Onigiri, from loading, is just able to keep himself trained in. And he's got one target peeking, then a second peeking, then a third peeking. He doesn't have to do much. He doesn't have to shuffle his feet, doesn't have to move around, doesn't have to, you know, move his crosshair. He's just completely scoped in, and he has them all kind of locked down in that position. Maybe needed to get that hatch drop or a bot main stairs push earlier in the round to help facilitate those that were in server. 7-6, 2 opportunities now for NOCAP. Remember, of course, Fury had the first opportunity in regulation to finish this one off, and they were unable to. But the start of this round, this is really where I felt like it was lost for Fury, how DCH was able to get essentially 1.5 here, because Dark did get brought back up, but he was low. He couldn't really do much else. Used a lot of utility, had to clear him out with a nade, took a lot of time. All of these issues caused by DCH on blue stairs.
Wowee. What a series this has ended up being. I would not be surprised if Fury come back and win on their basement defense as well. Fury actually did win both times defending this bomb site, so I think statistically we are going to be looking at around 15. It's on NOCAP to switch things up. And my first question is, are they looking to clear? Are they looking to direct? Because Fury have been so good at roaming on this bomb site. We already see them very spaced out, again, all over the map. And I think that NOCAP should probably ignore it. I think they should probably try and pressure side a little bit, bait those roamers back into it.
It is a free hit, though. I mean, like you said, the expectation entirely on Fury, which does mean it relieves that pressure for NOCAP. They can come into a round like this, and they can have that pressure lifted off their shoulders, where it's like, hey guys, you know, they have to win. They're going to be a bit nervous. We can kind of just maybe send a shield in, get aggressive, get in their face, try and catch them off guard. I love the lineup they're bringing here. DCH on the blitz, you got the Grim, try and clear out certain positions, try and get Fury dislodged, get them moving around, be a nuisance, and just kind of, well, they're feeling the pressure. Let's really make them feel it. But credit to Fury. They just 5-stack basement. They hold these key positions. They're going to play the long game. You've got the two-brow that can delay hatches being opened out. The Goyo can certainly delay the initial plants as well. I think a lot of pressure is going to go on to Crit J playing that as army. He's been the top fragger for the team. He's going to be super, super important here, holding down certain positions. He's over towards loading. He's got a BPC that he's able to watch to make sure no one's pushing behind him. He essentially needs to play like Onigiri in the last round from that position.
Hatch is open. Oh, there's a bit of damage done. One of the Vulcan canisters seeming to affect Crit J a little bit. Interesting keeper barrier as well. Unusual one. It does force any attacker moving in through garage to swing wide. It does potentially give an advantage to Crit J playing that position with that slug shoddy, which is essentially a DMR. What is the plan from NOCAP though? They don't have Vault Hatch open, which means that they really have to commit to server. We already see one player in server. That's Mr. Punch. What a game he has had, by the way. 17 kills and only 6 deaths. A flash goes in. NOCAP don't have the Twitch.
Do you drop a smoke hatch and just send the blitz down main? And just cause havoc?
Main is there's just so many crossfires pushing down this position. Like, you think about it, he's got to worry about garage, he's got to worry about the left. He is going to use the smokes himself. I think there's going to be a gap there to his left. He needs to try and isolate these fights, and unfortunately he exposes his feet. The C4 comes through, denies the plant. Now it's up to Onigiri going in through garage. He finds his pick, potentially a second, but traded back by Crit J. All up to Mr. Punch now. 18 kills will not be enough for him to salvage this round. He needs 3 more.
You know what's funny about this, James, is I thought about a main push with the blitz. That's exactly what NOCAP thought, but you were right and Fury were right. There was just too much utility there. The keeper barriers denied entry towards loading. You had to use the smoke to block off janitor, to drop off the mirror, sorry, that was watching in towards bot main. I mean, that became almost just like you had to back out immediately. You still had the barbed wire. That was off immediately as he pushed down and he sees the mirror window, the keeper barrier blocking loading, the barbed wire, all that utility that you spoke about. You probably then have to fall back and go for a different avenue. Not only that, but as soon as he dies, 2 others die at the exact same moment elsewhere on the map. And then that's basically round. We go to that 15th round as expected, as you said would happen. But as I said at the start of overtime, it's NOCAP with double defense.
Honestly, I like the idea of getting the blitz in aggressively somewhere and using smokes to cover lines of sight. I think they just made the wrong call. I think if you use a smoke to cover off the garage angle and then drop the blitz down the red hatch, perhaps you smoke the hallway angle as well, so the blitz can only worry about the red drop when he drops down. He's basically staring at the guy playing a mirror. You can have someone else drop the A hatch at the same time. You're safe from garage because of the smokes. I'm pretty sure that the warden himself... Actually, there wasn't even a warden, so they didn't even have to worry about anyone peering through smokes. So I actually think that the play there was to focus on red instead of splitting their attention to main stairs as well. I think they lost the round because of that miscalculation. Now, of course, we go down to the final round of the game. Whoever wins this wins the game. And we're going back to the top floor. And NOCAP have just hands down been the better team on this bomb site on both halves. Fury only won this site defending once, and they haven't won it attacking yet. So I think that NOCAP should be locked in here.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Well, the irony in all of this is that Robert J. Monday usually does his predictions with a coin flip, James, and it's going to come down to essentially a coin flip.
Yeah.
I think NOCAP, though, certainly with a higher statistical likelihood being on defense, but Fury have every chance in this round. They bring the blitz once again. Double Claymore outside for any potential jump out shenanigans. We did see it from, I'm pretty sure, Mr. Punch in one of the earlier rounds. Got himself a nice kill. Survived the fall, made his way back in. This time a bit more due diligence here from Fury. Rotero's going in to open up the castle barricades and to soften this airlock position. Fury certainly not rushing in just yet.
Yeah, they're just using that Flores that you mentioned, Jake. There's actually no Ash or Zoph. Every round we've seen so far on this bomb site, the attack has brought both of those operators to clear these castle barricades. I think there might be a little bit of a weakness here for Fury if they're not able to displace the Azami keeper barriers and the castle barricades. Thankfully for them, there's no mirror on the board for NOCAP. But it really just will come down to what you were saying, right? How do they use this blitz? How do they use this Ying? Because Fury are, for once, looking to completely change their strategy. They're not looking to do a thorough job where they like clear all the pieces of util, all the castle barricades and Azami keeper barriers. They're instead trying to use this flash utility.
It's not even about really how you use it, but also when. You know, there's 90 seconds left. Don't leave this down to the last 15, 20 seconds. It's not going to work out well for you. I mean, you got the blitz, you can get in quick, cause that chaos, but 4 Candelas available for Crit J, looking to try and clear out in towards stock, or at least maybe the hallway. Need to try and get some map control. Where's the map control right now for Fury? I mean, just barely trying to get in towards square. There's the run. There's the push from I9. I like this. It's early enough in the round that you can, jiggle here. There's no real rush. You don't have to send it in straight away. Get some information. Force the players out of Janitor. There's quite a few on the long desk and front desk side. Yellow ping information and Crit J making entry in towards stock. They're starting to get some map control around the site.
This isn't going to work. The Monty ban is coming into effect. I don't think the Blitz is the right operator here. His feet are going to be exposed. They're going to keep peppering shots into him. He's already down to half health.
But he needs others to play off him.
Yeah, but that's the problem. No one can get in a position to do so. And now Dark, overextending, has been taken down by Mr. Punch on the verge of popping 20 kills. NOCAP are so close to finishing off this game.
Yeah, there's no Candelas left now for Crit J. They don't really have any piece of utility to really help them get in towards site. They know they haven't even cleared out other positions. Had to get that kill top main. He does eventually.
Winnable.
The one to follow into long desk comes through for Crit J. Smoke dissipates near front desk. 15 seconds left in a 2v2.
So winnable. Lycolis has got to do it all. He's got full HP. He's got a great operator for it. No! Oh my God! The knife from DCH! He brings it out. He fires up. The game is over in the blink of an eye. NOCAP looked in control for so much of it, but Fury fought tooth and nail for every round in that match.
I'm speechless. I'm completely speechless. An incredible game, Rob. Certainly the best one of the stage so far. We haven't had many games, but I mean, it could be one that may hold all the way until the playoffs itself. It's a disappointing loss for Fury. It's huge for NOCAP though.
Yeah, look, I think going into that game, we might have prefaced it perfectly. I don't think we could have storylined it better. What we expected to happen, happened. We expected it to be a close game. Did we expect it to go overtime? I don't think so. Did we expect NOCAP to win? Absolutely not. And that, for me, is really like the fundamental fact of what this roster has done. And honestly, where they might go this stage, it's unexpected. It's things that you can't... It's not tangible. What NOCAP have in their roster, for me, it's not tangible. Mr. Punch dropping what, like 20 kills in a game where we haven't seen Mr. Punch for how long? Like he always performs, yes, but never like that. I mean, this is just absolutely mind-boggling. And Fury are left stumped. I think they're left more gobsmacked than what we are here on the desk. But speaking of the desk, we get to break some of that game down a little bit and start to decipher what in actual fact happened. Because I'm a little speechless. Even that last round, Dev, like, I think that last round might summarize the entire game for me on both attack and defense of both teams.
Yeah, it was a gnarly final rounds. But to me, like, the most crazy moment was a second last round. Like, that basement, just absolute, like, it was just, I don't know how to put this into words, but like that game was just wild. Like I feel like it's going to take me a little bit of time to recover from it because it was insane. I love what we saw from NOCAP. I saw some great things from Fury as well. I love the fact that they kept up their energy, really high gusto, even when they were down in a deficit. They looked really solid for a lot of rounds, even when NOCAP started manhandling them at the start of the round. Fury bounced back. The round where Fury came out of nowhere and won a 2 versus 4 on open area with like 3 seconds left. Yeah. Like, Jake, you were full on speechless because that was pretty unbelievable. Like, it took me a few seconds to realize what had actually happened.
Well, luckily we don't have to think about what happened for too much longer because we've got our very good friend, Mr. Onigiri. Sir,
Hello,
look at that smile.
Hello,
look at that
sir.
smile. I have seen you with big smiles in the past, Onigiri, but this might be one of the biggest smiles I've ever seen. How does it feel? I mean, that performance, that really puts the cherry on the cake for us.
Yeah, I mean, I have a big smile because it's a big win for us. Even like it's not a full 3 points, but oh my God, you cannot imagine. Like I know that my teammate they give it full they gave their full potential for this stage. Like they been playing Siege every day, every single day, rank, scrim, everything. Even like a comeback, like I can tell that they have committed to this stage for real. And then I'm also trying my best to get that chemistry also. And I know that I made a lot of mistake play as like open area side that we overpeak and like we lose the round, but I think the hard work pay off for my teammate. They like we completely silenced when we lose the round, but I'm surprised that my teammate has that focus and not losing their mentality after that round.
Onigiri, I'm not sure if you remember, but week one, stage one, your team, I can't remember if you were playing or not. I know you were, of course, a sub at the time, but your team beat Fury. It was a big one back, of course, when you guys were a part of Jalita. But then the rest of the stage didn't really follow suit. You lost to then Elevate the following game, etc., and you weren't really able to get the same kind of result against the other top teams in the region. How do you now take this result and apply it to all the other teams? Because it feels like you've kind of got the wood over this Fury roster. Not many teams in this region do, but do you feel like now it's got to be able to be applied to your Elevates, your Direwolves, all these other teams that are within the region? Of course, I know beating Direwolves yesterday, but and then also Bleed as well, another team that you kind of have to look to.
For Fury, I feel like it's about relationship. With like our relationship between them, we like half of their roster used to be our like teammate, and we know them, they know us inside out, and it's about who has more focus and potential by the time and who's more ready. And for the other team, I feel like I'm pretty confident that we might have a chance to qualify for the major because for the stage one, I was a sub player, but now I'm playing as a main player, so I think we have a big chance to qualify for the major.
I love your honesty. Look, I know you are a man of taste, Onigiri, so I wanted
Yes,
to know
sir.
how you're going to celebrate this win.
Celebrate my win. We plan to hang out like after this match because like my girlfriend is coming from the other country, and then yeah, we plan to hang out. And we expect to go blackout, I guess, and maybe it's gonna be like Hangover Part 4, I guess.
Oh, you know
But
what? It's honesty.
I think like the another thing that bring me luck today, I think it's about the elevator. Shout out to Justin, but yeah, he gave me this elevator. Yeah, shout out to Elevate also, but I think that's how I win the game.
Oh wow, you have been sorely missed, my friend. That's all I can say. Look, I won't hold you any longer. It sounds like you're gonna go pop some champagne. So, anything you'd like to say before we let you go?
Same thing. Like, thank you guys for your hard working, and thank you everyone for supporting us. And I hope y'all have a good day. Take it easy.
Onigiri, thank you very much, sir. We will see you next week.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
Ah, god damn it. Name an interview where we haven't come out of it smiling. Name a single interview with that man where we have not come out the other end smiling. That just goes to show the camaraderie that that team is now rebuilding, Dev. I mean, is this now a conversation with that interview in mind? Is this now a conversation of a rebuild almost to what a former glory might look like?
Yeah, look, I'm the biggest shill for this team that has ever existed. So yeah, 100%. Like, I think these guys are going to win an SI one day. I think they've got what it takes. I think they're going to be the best in APAC. We're going to see Onigiri, the best player in the world, when he raises that hammer. No, I mean, jokes aside, it is going to be a hard slog. Like, I love how cocky, to be honest, Onigiri was in that moment where he said, "Oh yeah, we didn't make it in stage one, but you know, I was a sub, of course." Now he's back. Of course, it wasn't him who stole the show. It was actually Mr. Punch, who was really in form today. Almost hit 20 kills. 93% cost is insane. Like, an 80% is good. 93 is almost unthinkable, especially over 15 rounds. 6 multi-kills as well. Like, this guy was unstoppable. I'm so happy to see this team back in form. Of course, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, though, because we saw them beat Fury in stage 1, and they still failed to make it out of quarterfinals. So time will tell.
Dude, 93% cost on a 15-round game is wild. I just like, I don't care how you put that. 6 multi-kills. I don't think we've seen a performance like that from Mr. Punch. Maybe, I don't want to say ever, because that just might go to diminish what he's achieved in his career. But this was a very considerable matchup. And, well, we were excited for this game, but there was one that was a little more tantalizing. I don't know how it's going to live up to the hype after that. It is Direwolves. They take on Rival Esports after this short break.